Hi there, my name is Steve Gerhardt, and as always, this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. This is a labor of love for me, so I'm always thankful that you guys show up and watch the video. What would be great if you could, if you would please, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know of future episodes. So that way you can watch more of the Unagi Observer, because who doesn't want to do that? Anyway, but seriously, thank you so much for watching the video. I do appreciate it. This week we're going to do an anime review, and it is going to be an anime review of With You and the Rain. Okay, for those of you who are new to the channel, this channel is basically about animation, anime in particular. And I do talk about science fiction, gaming, and things of that nature. I also talk about Japanese culture, history, J-pop, and stuff like that. But it's mostly anime-centric. Hence the review of With You and the Rain that's going to come up here in a moment. I give reviews of anime the 3-episode treatment, which gives me the ability to kind of figure out the vibe of a show and where it's going to go and whether or not I like it and if I'm going to continue watching it. So these are all part of the review. So let's go ahead and again, let's start with You and the Rain. So let's go over the particulars of this very interesting anime. So just to give you an idea, we were doing a summer watch, John, Brent, and I, for the Anime Archaeology YouTube channel. Link will be down below. And we did a summer watch of new first episodes, and this came up in July. I believe it released on July 6th, so it's pretty recent. We're at 10 episodes at this point. So With You and the Rain, of course, originally a manga written by Ko Nikaido. The volumes are of course published by Konasha, and it is being weekly serialized in the Weekly Young magazine. It has been running since August 2020, so it's got a pretty good run, and it seems like it's going on for a while. Like I said, the anime television series started back in July. We're here in September, 10 episodes. The studio is L'Esprit, and they haven't done a whole lot because they're kind of new. They came around in 2019. I think the really big one that you all might know is How Clumsy You Are, Miss Ueno. That came out in March in 2019. They've done some other stuff. They've done a couple films. They've done a net animation, but all told, they've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just 9 things since 2019. So they're kind of a new, chugging their way along with the animation. And I think that this particular animation with With You and the Rain, I think they're gonna get more and more popular because this is a surprisingly good anime. So if I had to guess what kind of genre I would put this in, I would probably say slightly supernatural healing anime. I think that's what I would call this. So here's the plot. Fuji is our protagonist. She is a reclusive novelist. It's not that she has a problem with dealing with people. She's fine with that. She can have normal conversations. This isn't like Komi Can't Communicate, where Komi literally has to have a notebook and be like, Fuji is capable of interactions with people to go through her life, right? But she prefers to be reclusive. She feels that she doesn't need people around her at any given time. So the series starts off with her at a stop. It's raining, and she's walking home, and there's this box in the street, and inside the box is a raccoon with a leaf on the top. So we know that's a tanuki, right? Okay. And so the tanuki is, a little shapeshifter, yokai kind of thing. And she comes up to the box, and it looks up to her. It's, it's raining on it. She kind of feels bad for it, and she kind of doesn't know what to do. And out comes this notebook, and the tanuki is written here saying, "Can you please take me home?" And she does. And for some reason, she thinks the tanuki, the raccoon, it looks like a raccoon. It is a raccoon. It's a mystical raccoon. It's a tanuki. and thinks that it's a dog for some reason. We come to find out that it's a tanuki, so it can kind of charm people into thinking different ways. And so he has charmed Fuji to think of him as a dog that can write in a notebook, which is a really neat trick. So anyway, she just accepts this, takes the thing in, kind of can't figure out what type of dog he is, and decides he's a mixed breed. And she's just like, I don't, you can stay here tonight. I'm not sure what to do with you. So she calls, I believe, her brother and says, hey, I've got this dog here. What do I do? And the brother's just like, oh, okay. Well, you should probably take it to the vet. So the next chance you get, take it to the vet and have it checked out and make sure it's all okay, and maybe put it for adoption, or maybe even keep it. And the brother is very interested because this is not normal behavior for Fuji. So she takes it to the vet, next day, and the vet immediately recognizes the tanuki as a raccoon and is about to tell her that this is a raccoon, but of course he doesn't realize that it's a tanuki because nobody really believes that there's a tanuki, but here he is. And the tanuki, and you see the typical shining animation of like magic happening a little bit, and the doctor's like, oh yes, this is a mixed breed dog. I'm not sure what the breeds are, but it's a sure unusual looking dog, but it's a good cute little doggy. And so Fuji goes, okay, great, and takes the tanuki home. And she decides to call it You, Y-O-U. And hence the title of the anime, You with the Rain. And in the first episode, we have, she decides that she's going to take a bath, right? So she takes a bath, and You, the tanuki, comes in with her, and she makes a little, she gets a little bucket out and puts warm water in there, and so he can have a bath too. And then for the next 2 to 3 minutes, which in animation time is a long time, we get this gorgeous scene, this incredibly gorgeous scene where she opens up the window, there's rain coming down, there's no music playing, there's no talking. She's just laying in the bathtub, kind of looking outside. The rain's following. It's dark. She turns off the light. She's just letting the ambient light come in. We get shots from inside to outside, and then we get a shot from outside of the neighborhood. The rain, gentle rain coming down. Amazing ASMR. Like, I could totally listen to that and fall asleep to it. And that's kind of the point. And so she's very relaxed. The tanuki is there with her. She's enjoying the company of the tanuki. And that's kind of how the episode ends. The second episode, we learned that she has a cute little neighbor, probably 9-10 years old, that has a corgi, and sees You and says, oh, let's go to the dog park. Prior to that, Fuji gets a phone call, and she goes, I don't want to see you, and hangs up. And the tanuki, you looks at her and she's like, I don't know about this. What's this is going on here. They go to the dog park with the little girl, and her father shows up, and of course he's a gregarious kind of guy, whereas she is very reserved. And so a nice little episode of funniness, silliness, a dad, and a gregarious dad being a gregarious dad with his daughter, and playing with the little girl's corgi, the little girl talking to Fuji, saying, oh, you're a very sweet person, and Fuji saying, no, I'm not really that sweet. Yes, you are. And by the end of the episode, of course the girl is just like, yeah, see, I told you, you're a sweet person. Third episode, we go back in time to when Fuji was a schoolgirl and had long hair. She's in the current time, she has short hair. And we see her best buddies in high school, and this episode is about her reconnecting with those two friends and doing things, and the two friends being concerned about her because she's pretty much a reclusive. She's always been quiet, not shy, but quiet and reserved, and okay with not having people around her, but also okay with the people that she likes being around her. And so our friends are a little concerned. They're like, you really should get out more. You should really do more things. And, if you decide to do something, let us know. Or, just go on your own and do something different, an adventure, or do something that you like doing. And so the episode is her reconnecting with her friends, and then deciding to go to the beach, just arbitrarily going to the beach, hanging out, having watermelon in a cup, and she's really enjoying it. And of course, the tanuki, is with her. And by the end of the third episode, we realize that is helping her, not only being a companion, but kind of very gently nudging her towards these interactions with these other people. It's not a massive, silly, we're going to create a situation where all silliness ensues. No, it's more along the lines of this tanuki recognizing that, let me see if I can get her out to go to a dog walk, to the dog park, and maybe she can talk to somebody. Here's a little girl that's outside her door, and let's see if I can do something a little cute, or just my mere presence will engage in a conversation. Her friends, how can I get her to be with her friends? And it's nothing gentle. He doesn't speak. He writes on the notebook, which, by the way, everyone just takes for granted. I'm not sure if that's part of the Tanuki magic, or everyone just accepts that this thing can read and write simple sentences. Anyway, so we realize that, he's kind of nudging her along, but at her pace, not his pace, her pace, which is very important. So that's where we are on episode 3. Like I said, there's 10 episodes. One of the very interesting things, let's talk about the animation, actually. The animation is good. It's, I'd say above average. It's pleasing to the eye. The character designs are simple insofar that, we're conveying who people are, and we don't feel a need to have that much detail, right? Because there's actually things going on, so we don't need to be distracted by the character detail. The backgrounds are very nice, soft, quite a bit of pastel colors kind of mixed in to give you a kind of calm feeling. Sorry, my throat's a little dry. So you get a very calm feeling. Every scene that happens, it's not necessarily an action scene, and it's not very talky. It's just interactions. And like I said, there's that one gorgeous scene in the in the first episode of her taking the bath with this great ASMR. And that's kind of the vibe that you get in terms of the animation. Everything is calm, everything is smooth, everything's pleasing to look at. And what is also interesting is the audio in this anime. This is quiet. Yes, there are conversations, particularly in the second episode, the gregarious father, and the little girl is just like a little, no. Fuji herself doesn't talk that much. The Tanuki does not talk at all, and he writes things down. And there are entire stretches of scenes where there is very little to no talking, and it's just interaction between Fuji and you. And they sometimes purposely drop the music, meaning that they don't have music. They want you to concentrate on what's being shown to you. And at best, you'll get some ambient noise, like outdoor noise, maybe a dog barking or a bird chirping, or maybe traffic outside. Normal, right? Something that is normal. One of the and it's just amazing. The intro and outro animations. Oh my goodness. So this is very, very bold four-top color kind of thing going on. Almost late 90s, early 2000s in terms of like construction of where things are. The song is very good, and it's just like you're immediately drawn in. The color palette is amazing, and just how the use of manga paneling in this is really done to good effect. And you're gonna like you'll be like, with you in the rain, I don't know, whatever. And you start to watch the intro animation, you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting, and it just draws you in without telling you anything. That's a really weird part. It doesn't really tell you anything other than here's your main protagonist, here's the Tanuki, and something's going on. and that's all you get. And so you're going to have to watch the episode. Like, you know how you get the introduction to characters and you have an idea of who they are and stuff like that? This is all you get. So it's really, really enticing to get you into to watch the anime. I'm not aware, because I'm at episode 3, so I'm not at episode 10. Maybe by then we'll have an overarching series plot, but I'm not aware of one yet. I think if I had to guess, it is basically the tanuki is kind of there to make sure that Fuji doesn't go full on recluse, like a shut-in. Like he doesn't, she's on that path, by the way. So when we see her apartment, it's not just minimalist, which a lot of Japanese do. It's Spartan. It's bare. There's not much in there. And it's kind of reflective of her life, where she's just like, and I feel that what this is about is that she comes across this tanuki who by chance happens to be there, or maybe by design, who knows. And he's watching her, and he's doing gentle nudges. Go out, meet people, talk to people. Don't have to have a massive conversation. Just say hi. So it's very slow. It's very quiet. It's very engaging for what it is. And it's very healing. It's very just like you enjoy the fact that she's getting out of the shell a little bit, but also at the same time, she's still enjoying the fact that I don't need to have all these people around me, but it's probably a good idea if I get out every now and again and talk to people. And I think that's the purpose of the tanuki, is to help her do that so she doesn't become a complete shut-in from society. So that's what I feel that is what this series is about. I don't know. I'm going to have to continue watching. See? So yes, am I going to have to continue watching this? Yes, I am. I am thoroughly enjoying this anime. Do I think you will like this anime? If you like healing anime, yes, hell yeah, you're gonna love this. This thing is so good, and the ASMR is just so amazing, and it's quiet and it moves at a good pace. That's the other part of this, is even though this is quiet and gentle nudging, it's still a really good pace. You don't feel bored at any given moment at all. You're more concerned about how the interactions are going to go. What is she trying to say? How are people trying to deal with her? And that to prevent her from being a shut-in, I think. So should you watch it? Absolutely. Like I said, if you're into healing anime, if you like laid-back camp, you're definitely going to like this. Even if this is not something you would normally watch, I would strongly encourage you to watch the first episode, give it a think, and then move on. Because I think it's one of those things where I think it's not transformative, but I think that people who normally don't watch these kinds of things, I think this is one of those things like Laid Back Camp, where if you watch this, you'll enjoy it and you'll get it, right? And most importantly, you'll enjoy it. So yeah, you with You in the Rain, please give it a watch. I think you'll really, really like it. Really good. With You in the Rain, give it a watch. I think you'll like it. All right, so you're probably, those of you who are familiar with the channel, you're probably wondering why I don't have the suspension animation chamber thing look going on behind me. And I'm having this stuff over here. This is a setup for actually tonight, as of this recording. And so way back when, over on Anime Archaeology, when Brent P. Newhall started Anime Archaeology 18 years ago, he went through a variety of different iterations of it. One of the longest running iterations is the Weekly Dig, which John and I came in on a few years ago and started doing with Brent. It has since turned into Otaku Station, which the three of us are currently doing. But we discovered that as of, again, the filming of tonight, it is the 18th anniversary. So we used to do the Weekly Dig live. The format used to be a hello, how are you, kind of what happened for the week, what we watched, and then we went into anime news, and we kind of talked about some other stuff. But we did it live. So we had a live chat going on YouTube, and we did this on YouTube. So for One Night Only tonight, we're doing the Weekly Dig again, and the 18th anniversary of it. 18 years. Brent's been doing this for 18 years. I've been part of this for the past 5 or 6, I think. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So anywho, so that's why that is. And don't have much to report other than still waiting for panel confirmation from Anime USA. Probably get that by the 15th. I am actually on vacation from starting actually a few hours ago. And so I'm actually going to be over in St. Michael's in a couple days with the pretty lady who gives me food. And so I have you will get an anime. I wish I could do anime. You will get a video next week as well, but it's going to be pre-recorded. I actually recorded it before I did this one last week in preparation for this little trip. This is a long needed vacation. This isn't just like a 4-day kind of thing going to Gen Con. This is like me and the pretty lady who gives me food having time out from the world, so to speak. So anyway, so very much looking forward to that. So I will see you guys next time. Well, you'll see me in a pre-recorded video, but I will see you guys out in the world. And if you happen to see me, please come up and say hi to me. I would love it and have a chat with you. And that means that you have to stay safe. You have to stay healthy. So please do all the things to stay safe and stay healthy, because I love you guys and I would love to talk to you out there in the wild or at some convention somewhere. All right, that is it for this week. Enough of my rambling meanderings. And as always, we will end this, as always, watch more anime.